I would like to call the March 14th meeting of the Agricultural Advisory Board to order at this time. If we could all take a moment of silence for everything that's happening in our country and around the world, if we could just take a moment of silence before we start at this time. Okay, before we start the meeting, I'm going to ask Charlie if he would give our invocation, and then we will, invocation, excuse me, and then we will say our pledge.
Let's pray. Lord, we come to you. We're so thankful, Lord, to be your servant. We're so thankful to be farmers in this good Oconee County and in the state of South Carolina. Lord, just lead us, guide us, direct us. Show us the way to go to help the agriculture in our county and state. Be with our families, Lord, as we do your will. Watch over us. Help us in this meeting to make the decisions that we need to make. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. If we would all stand and say the pledge. Rex, would you like to lead us?
All right. Space the flag. Attention, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next on the agenda is the approval of the February 14th minutes. I think they were in the backup material. Did anybody have any questions, concerns, changes, comments?
I actually read over those and had a change, I believe needs to be made. Let me pull them up. I wrote down that under nominations for chair, when the nomination was actually made and the vote was called, I wrote down that Miss Alexander called for the vote. I don't think she could have because it was a vote for her, so it was actually Miss Sewell that called.
And I read it and I didn't even
I read over it before I sent it off and didn't catch it until.
So, are you making a motion to correct who made the motion?
I think it's just a motion to approve the minutes with corrections, and that's the correction that I have.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes with the correction as stands? A second. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Next on our agenda is public comment. Do we have any public comment? No public comment at this time. And then next on our agenda, something that I think has been dear to Charlie and Rex, and they've worked on it for a while. And there is one change of who we were needing to send it to, as we would send everything to council, which goes through our administrator. And James just cleaned that up for us. Other than that, the letter is as was written. And we just need to, do we have any discussion, I guess, on that?
I have a question,
Sure.
Madam Chairman. On the very last line where you said trees be cut regularly and maintained to a height of 17 feet,
Mm-hmm.
is that I'm thinking that, get me wrong, but a lot of the trees on the sides of the roads are higher than 17 feet, but the limbs might be are you saying that
The
you want
overlaying limb.
the overlaying limbs be maintained?
Exactly.
I don't know how, but that could be made clearer to, because it sounds like, to me, when I first read it, I thought keeping the trees to 17 feet. You know what I'm saying? Just that the limbs be 17 feet or higher, kind of. It's what I was thinking you were needed.
It says tree limbs growing into and over the roadway.
Yeah, but that very last sentence is what I was concerned about, but I'm just, that was just what hit me to begin with. I knew what you were talking about, but I don't know that,
You could add tree limbs,
maybe,
overhanging tree limbs.
After trees, you could put limbs, and that would solve it, wouldn't it?
but I would, over 17 feet.
What is, I have a question for James. What is it whenever it's with the lake? And I'm asking this for a reason. Whenever you have to have the setback so far, and they're talking about you cannot,
So there's an overlay zone,
you know,
and then,
I'm talking about whenever it, I don't know how to explain
The
it.
buffer area.
In the buffer area, it's stated that it's called something cover, and I cannot think of the right word, but I'm thinking it serves as the same purpose here, or we can just add limbs. But I mean, I was thinking the terminology would clear it up, is all.
I can change it to read tree limbs over the roadway, so.
Overhang, is that
The
what?
right-of-way is
Right.
like a box, it's not just straight lines on the ground. So the right-of-way is actually to the edge of the right-of-way on the sides of the roads and up. On a secondary road, it's 13.5 feet. On a major road or interstate, it's 15.
Right,
And then, we're asking for additional
2
on
feet.
these specific roads because of combines and
Right.
tractors. So we can change it to the right-of-way being maintained to a height of 17 feet. We can change it to tree limbs overhanging the roadway.
I think right-of-way would be better,
Yeah, but
personal.
you see what I'm saying? I mean,
personal opinion.
I just thought, I mean, I get it, but I just don't
Right.
know if it, if you just looked at it, you might think you want everything at 17 feet. But
If the right-of-way could be maintained, I think that's to a height.
That-
Is that okay with you, Charlie?
I think it'd be fine.
Rex, you put a lot into it, is that?
I'm gonna give Charlie the most credit. He did the lion's share of the work, but I'm good with rewording it.
I think it'd work.
Okay, all right, so we need a motion to amend on the table. Do I have a motion to amend? Are you making the motion?
I'll make a motion to amend this to clarify that the height over 17 feet.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I say,
And all in favor to go ahead and send this letter on, or is there any more discussion?
Who seconded the motion?
It was a tie.
Any more discussion?
I think it's good.
All right.
I think it's great.
Then I'm gonna call for a vote. All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Or lift your
Aye.
hand. All right. Another item up for discussion, and just for discussion, was, do we need to go over the road list?
Nope, I just was scrolling down, that's the end of the backup though.
Okay, all right. Was saving the family farm something that has come up several times in discussion? And Rex had someone that he had talked to and a little bit of information. So I'm going to, with everybody's permission, turn the floor over to him and let him provide the information for us.
Okay, I ran across a group called Fresh Potential, and what they do is help guide businesses to be transitioned to the family members coming up behind them. I've spoken with these gentlemen a few times. There's one gentleman that may be able to come speak with us, or both of them. But before that, maybe we should get on a Zoom call with them and just get exactly what they're capable of doing. on their website, it says, which is freshpotential.com, by the way, it says guiding family business to succeed today and tomorrow, or today and future. They advertise resilience and agility, training and consulting, and they offer a free consultation. And their plan, it states in the website, is they assess the business, they do a customized plan, and then the plan is implemented. And so it's family business, future and succession planning is what they call it. And I'm not sure how much of it applies to agriculture, but I'm asking those questions, and we'll see when we talk to them. But they asked if they might visit in May, at a May meeting. But like I said before that, I think it'd be good to have a Zoom call with maybe a subcommittee or a couple of us, just listen to them, listen to their pitch or whatever they offer.
Well, a subcommittee can only be 3. So I think we need to know more about it before we devote a May meeting to that. So I guess then I would ask, who would serve with Rex to do this Zoom meeting, Zoom call? Who would like to take interest in that?
Can I just make a point of order?
Sure.
So if you form a subcommittee,
Mhm.
it will be an open meeting. We'll need to do it somewhere where we can have public access to it, so anybody from the public who wants to come can participate.
Okay.
If you would just like to investigate it on your own and report back, you can kind of not have to go through some of those things. We just want to bring something that's a little fuller in development.
That would be much favorable, because on their website, they give a bunch of choices of times that they can conference with you. And we know how it is to get 2 or 3 people together. It's hard to do as it is, and it would be during the daytime, so I would be happy to set up a Zoom call with them or visit. One gentleman's not far away in North Carolina, so maybe could do it in person, but
I
yes,
think the main thing that we would like investigated, is this something that we need to have available, or is it a resource that can be available for residents of Oconee County? Is there an interest in that? I mean, I don't know how many people are interested in it, I don't know that, and so I think that would be the thing. And, you know, they're a business, so cost may play into that. That may be something that is not even going to be feasible.
it
for
may
some.
not. It sounded like there's a fee.
Yes, so that may be a no, just, you know, that may squash a lot of things, but it doesn't mean that we cannot offer the information to the residents, because everybody can choose who they want. And everybody may not be interested in it, you know, some may want other things, but I do think it's at least worth investigating, if you do not mind, and you had brought it up.
Glad to.
Personally, what do you think, Debbie? Do you have
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I think it would be a good idea to see how many, maybe to investigate how many people in the agriculture industry that if they're actually involved in that as well.
Right.
Because there's other family businesses, obviously. But that might be, one good point to make with them.
Well, that's certainly my question, is how much agricultural, agribusiness or whatever do they do? They had nice pictures on their website of agricultural things, but I'm not sure in the wording if it's more ag-specific or more other. But it's family business, so I'll find out.
Well, we're here to support the farmers, and if we need to help them, to save their farm, that's the main thing.
And if they're not as specific as we'd like, there are probably other organizations that do that kind of planning, I imagine.
Okay.
We'll look into it.
Just
further.
let us know, and you'll report back. That will be on our agenda then for
Okay.
April for that. Another thing that Debbie, you had done such a great job with our strategic planning last year. And we had identified several things, and we had all talked with our county councilman. This year, what are y'all's thoughts on taking that a step further as advisory board members and identifying focus groups that we need to partner with and which board member would have more contact. For example, I think both of you, I know you worked with the First Food Summit, and Sandra did, in planning and implementing. I don't know if anybody knows where we are with the,
They're at the point now, Tessa, you might know more about this than I do. They're at the point now where they're doing some community gatherings.
Yes, they have identified someone to kind of lead the charge on the community food gatherings, which haven't started yet.
okay.
But they also received a little more grant funding, so that's very much, the Food Council is very much an ongoing thing, and they are doing work. And Mandolin is, and I talked about me being just the official liaison from the Food Council to the ad board.
Okay.
So I would be more involved with their meetings and their going on and what they're doing, and be able to discuss any relevant information with the ad board in regards to that.
Okay. I think that is something that we need to support as an advisory board. Would it be possible for you to, like, give us an update, like, whenever there's something, like, if we need to do something especially, if nothing else, to show up for moral support or to whatever it is that they're looking for there from us in areas and that type of thing, and maybe that can just be an item on the agenda, is the update from the Food Council.
Sure, yeah, we can make that more of a consistent thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that way, if they need something, we'll kind of already have it, just like this thing, we'll know in the back what we need to do and how we need to do. Other community groups, partners, can y'all think of? I know we had talked about school district. Debbie, I think you visit all the farmers markets for us and kind of keep us up to date, but is there another, I'm asking, are there other things that we need to identify and?
One thing that I mean, we're agriculture, but we also represent the forestry and natural resources
Yes,
as well. And I know up there where I live, there's a community group that's forming to try to conserve and preserve our area around Jocassee. And I think that I don't see any reason why we shouldn't partner with them as well. I've kind of I'm helping to I was helping to organize us. We're kind of disorganized at this point, but there's several of us working on a few things up there, so we need to be more of a cohesive group, and I think that would be we need to reach out to that type of, the forestry and natural resource group as well.
So would you like to be the board member to kind of,
Sure.
what Tessa's doing, the
Sure.
unofficial but official? And then that way, if we know there's something we need to do there, then you can just inform us.
Sure.
What is the name of that organization?
We don't have one.
And it's just preserving
Jocassee community.
Jocassee land?
It's Jocassee community. Yeah, we're just trying to maintain the area in its natural state.
But is it more forest, I mean, you would be like
It's
for
more like
forestry?
natural resources and forestry. And rural, it's
Conservation.
rural as well. I mean, it's agricultural as well. It's not just, it's sort of a different issue than what you have. But then again, a lot of it's the same with roads and that kind of thing. But we also have just a lot of development that, is scary.
I understand.
I don't know what to say, but we're trying to make sure we have that we conserve the area to its, it's kind of like saving the family farm, but saving the community. I guess it's more of a community effort.
Charlie, I know you've been involved with the Farm Center and the Farm Bureau. I don't want to put any more on you, but those two entities, do we need to do anything for the Farm Center? Or do I need to appoint someone else? What would you prefer? what are your thoughts? I guess I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but I'm just,
As far as keeping up with the farm center, that's fine. I keep doing what I'm
Okay.
doing.
And I know you've kind of kept us up to date. I know there's some things legislatively with Farm Bureau. That is kind of what our charge was from planning, I think, that was one of our things. So, do you know of anything there? Do we need to be aware of anything there? I guess I'm asking.
There's a bill going before the House now. I can't remember which one it was. I had it wrote down, but it's ag disclosures.
Okay.
I think it would be a asset to the right to farm bill.
Okay.
I think instead of going by county, I mean, it'll need our support either way, but if we can get it as a whole through the state, and
Right.
it would probably be better than going from county to county, I think, on this ag disclosure.
Okay.
It's like ag land and realtors are, batting it
Right.
today, so
Okay.
I think it'll be good to probably go into the state, but we'll still need to talk to our legislation and get support.
Do you want to kind of head that up, or do you want one of us to help you, or what do you?
Reggie can help me with it.
Okay.
He's aware of it.
All right. Okay.
The other thing that's going through still, and we talked about it last year, is the dismantling of DHEC into two separate deals, which I think is to agriculture's favor.
I think that is going to
I think that's gonna
happen.
I do too.
But we probably need to make sure we stay up on that
That
information as
does
well.
need to happen.
Yes.
That's definitely.
Well, if you two take the other one, I'll try to pay attention on the DHEC. How's that? I don't want to sit up here and delegate everything. I'll do my part. I'll raise my hand. So, do what?
That's your job.
That's my job. Yes, but I do need to be a team player too. Thank you, Tessa. Okay. So if you guys come up with things, especially on those topics that you are thinking about that we need to make sure they're on the agenda, like if Madeline, if you guys would, Laura is our point of contact for James. So if you would email, I would say her, and then she can get with James, and we can make sure then that way that everything that we need to discuss is on that agenda, so that we can ensure that we have a meeting that will flow pretty good.
I'll report on that bill our next meeting and see
Okay.
where it's at and if we need to do anything
Okay,
besides just support it.
support it, okay. All right, we'll try to make sure, because from April till about May, well, starting now, March, April, May, those are gonna be the times that they'll either pass or they'll get tabled.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure we kind of stay on top of that. And I'll try to help you watch out for that too. Okay, all right. That is all that we had on our agenda. So, welcome to our meeting. Welcome to your new job. I did not catch your name, but
My name's Celia Myers.
it's nice to meet you.
You as well.
We would love to have you at our meetings if you would like to. And if there's anything that you have that we need to be aware of, you can let us know. Maybe Debbie, that might be a good point of contact for your group as part of ag, because it all kind of works together with soil and water. I don't have anything else at this time. James, do you? Okay, so can we have a motion?
I moved that we adjourned.
Okay, second?
Second.
All in favor?